Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Destiny Umodiagbon from your hosts, Black, White, and Grey Counselors. I'm very glad to be presenting to you today our first video, and we'll be bringing a very interesting topic. I know that you will like. The topic is about law and morality, the discrepancies between law and morality, the relations between law and morality, and how it affects our present day society. The century we live in, there are a lot of questions that come in every day. People ask every day, how does our religion play a role in the laws that govern our society? The human-made laws, man-made laws, how does it play a role? Is the law fair? Is man-made law, are the man-made laws, are they fair enough? Do they reflect the religion of our society? Do they reflect African traditional religion? Do they reflect Christian and Muslim religion? Because that's a very important question that we ask every day. Are these laws very rigid? Are they very diabolic? Do they reflect all this, or is it just a weapon made by a particular human being to control the other? Is it a weapon against the rich to the poor? Is it a weapon rather against the upper class to the lower class? There are many questions surrounding them, so we'll be talking about them, how they are related, how what goal it aims to thrive in society, what's the end goal, what's the objective of these two bodies. Because no matter how we try to deny it, they will always exist in any society. Moral codes will always exist, laws will always exist, because without them, what are we? We are but animals. And that's what I'll quote from my famous philosopher Thomas Hobbes. That's a famous saying that a land without law or order, a land without a nation without law or order, or without any code or principle, is but a nation bound to be in solitary, one that is bound to be nasty, and one that is bound to be short-lived and brutish, meaning that people living there are bound to be short-lived. You can do anything you like to do and you go scot-free. People will act like animals if there are no laws governing the society, if there are no moral codes that people, or principles that people adhere to, that governs society. People are bound to live like animals. People are bound to live like let me use the word, they are bound to live not like human beings that we know of it in this present generation. So to be going further, let's first hit the nail on the head by explaining or defining what these two words mean: law and morality. All right, what is law? You see, unlike my humble self here, who is a legal practitioner, who is a lawyer, my definition of law, or my sophisticated definition of law, understanding of law, would span many years of learning. And if I'm going to break down my understanding and definition of law to you, it would not be comprehensible to you, if you know what I mean. Because law is so wide that it has a lot of definitions from various scholars. My colleagues out there will understand me when I explain, when I'm saying this kind of this at this particular point in time. They will understand what I'm trying to say. There are a lot of definitions made by different scholars, different authorities on the definition of law. Many people have defined law in different ways. They have defined law as prophecies of what they call to do and nothing more or pretentious. They have defined law as that which governs. So they have defined law in different ways. Marxist theory has defined it as that which the working class used to control, the proletariat used to control, or the bourgeoisie, choose to control the proletariat. there have been various definitions of law. There is the one that says, okay, I just mentioned that one, but I don't want to go far into all those plenty definitions because there is no one single definition of law. But I want to give you a concise and a clear layman understanding of law, or forgive me for using the term, a simple, clear understanding of law. What the English dictionary will define law as. If you open your English dictionary, what it will tell you, it is very simple definition. All right, law is simply a rule, simply a rule and regulation. Let's use that word. That's why just be easy for us to understand. It's simply a rule and regulation that governs society, that brings orderliness in the society, that which the society are bound to live by. Has sanctions, or it has repercussions of failure to adhere to some. That's if you want to further explain it. But it's simply rules and regulation, and there are many differences that you can use to compare and contrast law with this morality when I'm going to explain morality later. So that's just a simple definition. So we don't have to go far into many definitions. So I don't have to be giving you what scholars have said over the years is the definition of law, because you see, that's the reason why there are a lot of courts in the country. That's the reason why there are a lot of courts all over the world. There's always going to be cases that are of interpretation. There's always going to be argument every day. There's always going to be misunderstanding every day, because it's dynamic. The nature of law is dynamic. It's not a static concept. So you see that there's always going to be different understanding, interpretation of that law. But that concise definition is okay for this particular video, for the purpose of this particular video. So now we understand the meaning of law. Let's go now to the other aspect of this video, morality. What's simply morality? Morality is just as wide as you understand law. There are many understandings to morality, there are many definitions. But what if you open your English dictionary, what will it tell you is morality? Simply is a code of conduct, a principle that some particular humans or some particular clan or tribe choose to live by. You understand? That's morality. It can be spanning from a religion of the particular or a culture of a particular tribe or person. Morality can come out of the culture, it can come out of the religion of the particular tribe. But in the present age that we are, we know that morality, if you choose it, it always comes out from the religion of a particular person. It's a set of principles that you choose to live by, set of code. If I want to go further to even give you a wider understanding of morality, there's a particular type of law that we call a divine law. Divine law. Those are laws set by a different body, it's not a man-made law, it's a different body spanning from religion or the belief or faith of a particular human being. What's your belief? Who's your maker? Who's the superintendent over every human being on earth? There's going to be a God that is overseeing every human being on earth. So who's that God? The God made a law for you, made a principle for you. I want to give you an example in the Bible. There's the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not do this or do that. That's an example of a divine law. It's a moral code. Are there repercussions like the man-made law? No, there are no repercussions like the man-made law. Meaning, if you fail to do that, your sanctions or punishment is between you and your maker. There are no repercussions. Unlike man-made law that is set in stone, and there are repercussions and sanctions for failure to adhere to them. Are you understanding me? If you are no clear understanding, that's the purpose of the comment section after this video. You can throw more questions to me and I'll be glad to answer them. We are all learning every day, and this is an opportunity for us to learn more. So now that I've talked about the definition of law and morality, let's talk about the differences. What are the clear differences that we know? All right, a law, mostly I've already mentioned. One is what, man-made. That's the first difference. One is man-made. Why moral codes or yes, morality? They are not man-made because it spans from a particular religion, and religion, you know how old Christian religion and Muslim religion are. I'm just using those two as an example how old they are. So it spans from a particular religion, and a religion, you understand what is a faith or belief on a spiritual being, spiritual being that is bigger than life itself, that is the creator of life itself. So he sets those moral codes in our subconscious. He set it in our conscious mind for us to live by. So we make that our principles on our day-to-day living. So they are not made by man. So that's the one difference that we know. The other, it is written. It is set in stones. Most countries in the world, they have constitutions. They have laws written. Some are unwritten, but it's very difficult to see in this present generation. Laws that are not written, because I don't know what kind of society that would be. Most society are that developed and they are not civilized to be able to write, to read and write. So most of their laws are written. And whereas moral codes are mostly not written, some of them have been handed from mouth to mouth. We know of many of them that are spans from the Bible or from the Quran, but there are others that spans from mouth to mouth. This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing. There's no written proof of it, so it's to an extent not fully written. Let me use that particular word. So it's not fully in writing. There are some that you even without your linking it to your maker, your subconscious, your character, your innate um, thoughts will tell you this is not the right thing to do. This is the principle you should live by, and that has already been, that's already a morality on its own. So what's the third one? The third one, they are made by not just humans. They are authorities that are there to execute laws. They are authorities that are there to execute them. There are punishments that are there to be met. I'm just giving you another difference. There are punishments to be that are there to be the if you fail to adhere to such laws. Whereas in morality, there are no punishment. I mentioned this before. When you kill, because most laws in the world have that provision of murder or murder, yes, rather. When you kill somebody, the punishment is death. Whereas in the Bible, yes, I'm going to morality now. You say thou shalt not kill, but what's the punishment there? There is no punishment on earth, according to your belief, for killing a fellow human being. But the punishment will be met after you are dead. That will be the punishment after you are dead. So you just start that particular line now. So what's the purpose of all this? There are a lot of differences between law and morality. I can go on and go on for your day, but I just want this video to not be too long. Simply enough for today. So what's the purpose of this law and morality? Because questions come in every day that are laws rigid? Are laws meant to oppress? Are laws meant to put in a clear, concise view? Laws are not meant to oppress. Laws are actually meant to direct and govern the society. It's actually there to guide the society. It's actually there to help the society, because as I've earlier mentioned, according to our famous Thomas Hobbes, what he said, that life without law, orderliness is bound to be short, nasty, and brutish. People are bound to die miserably. like animals. Somebody can just come out and kill somebody. There's not going to be any repercussion. So human laws important. They are very important. Somebody can come out from nowhere, rape your daughter, and there's no repercussion because we're not living by a rigid or a strict rule of law. So are laws important? Yes, laws are very important. They are there to guide. They are there to avoid oppressions. Whether we like it or not, we say these days people are trampling upon the law. The rich are getting away with it. But at the end of the day, it's still needed to be there. The laws work in favor of every man. Because if there are no laws, people will do what they like and how they like. So are these laws diabolic in nature? Are they just created by some set of greedy or power hungry people, in quotes, just like the way the world will say it now? Do they reflect any tendency to any tendency of the religion or moral code that people live by? Because we know in this generation there are a lot of religious people, there are a lot of believers. So do they live by all this moral code? Yes. Laws reflect morality. Morality are reflected in laws. But are they different? Yes, they are different. But they reflect, they complement each other. But to an extent, they are different. How? I just made an example of thou shalt not kill. In the Bible, thou shalt not kill, it's a moral code, it's a principle to live by from our divine maker, that thou shalt not kill. The law also says that you should not kill, that the punishment for killing is death. Yes, the law was created from that knowledge in the Bible to guide mankind, because that's the code we have lived by for years, for centuries ago, that killing a human being, a fellow human being, is bad. So the law also recognizes that this is bad. So the law is also there to reflect morality, to help society to recognize what is wrong and what is right. What's the right thing to do or what's the wrong thing to do. So it's there to reflect morality. It will tell you that do not kill. But there are also other incidents too about law. There's thou shalt not steal in the Bible. It's also reflected in the law. You should not steal. There are punishment to that. There are a lot of things. Even lying is there. You shouldn't even lie when you are giving testimony in court. I'm a lawyer. I know what I'm saying. There are people that come to court, witnesses, and they come to lie. There is a punishment for that. There is what they call perjury in law. You'll be punished for lying under oath. So you see that it reflects to an extent most of the moral codes that we know of today. So is law a good tool? Yes. But there are still examples where people say it is rigid. It does not fully reflect the moral code of the society. But that's when I want to come in. That's why I told you that today is going to be a clear, we're going to give full definition and differences of these two so that we don't conflict them. There are instances where moral codes and laws still stand apart from each other. There are differences. For example, that's why I'll be going to the north, because it's in the northern part of Nigeria. I'm going to be using Nigeria as not after all, we are in Nigeria. It's the northern part of Nigeria that you can see some laws that are standing apart, that are standing, or let me put it, sorry, I made a mistake. In the southern part of Nigeria, sorry, let me correct that. The southern part of Nigeria, it's the particular place where you see the law and morality standing apart from each other. I want to give you an example. In the north, in the penal code, or P53 cap, P53 of the Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, it states in section 387, 388, the penalty for adultery. And adultery itself, adultery in the South is alien. We have our criminal code in the South, Cap C39, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, of the southern part of Nigeria. We use different criminal codes. I'm going to be using criminal codes as an example. So you see, in the southern part of Nigeria, adultery is unknown to law. But adultery, is it a moral code or not? Yes, it's a moral code. But you see, that's the particular place where adultery stands apart from law, and where morality stands apart from law. Because adultery is a moral code, divine law, divine belief from our religious faiths. It's a divine belief that you shouldn't sleep with your neighbor's wife. That's adultery. But the southern part of Nigeria law, criminal code, does it reflect that? No, it doesn't reflect adultery. But in the north, it reflects adultery in their penal code, and there's a penalty for that. When you commit adultery, there's a penalty for that. Imprisonment, you check there's a penalty for when you commit adultery. So you see, why the penal code is like that in the north is because the north strictly reflects its moral codes, and the north penal code is basically based on their Sharia law, and the Sharia law is a divine law, also is a religious law. You are open to your contributions and your more knowledge on the Sharia law under the comment of this video. It is a divine law, so Sharia law is reflected in the penal code, strictly reflected in the penal code, unlike the South, where even though you see laws that actually reflect the Christian teachings, and like the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill, still in your laws in South here that you shouldn't kill. It's even in the laws in the whole world that you shouldn't kill. It's reflecting those religious parts. But is it strictly following everything that you know in the South in your Christian law? No, it doesn't follow. But after all, adultery is not there. So laws, as I said before, laws stand apart, but it reflects morality, and morality is also reflected in law. But they are human-made law. They do things that are more rational, unlike the moral code. Sorry to say, I'm not trying to tell you that in the north it's not more rational. They are living by their set of principles, and they made it strict. Their Sharia law has to be mostly reflected in their laws. But in the South, we say, oh, let's fix it on what is we perceive to be fair or what we perceive not to be fair. There are a lot of people that are not even strictly Christians per se, or African. There are people that are African traditional, they are African traditional religion as their religion. Yes, so they don't. The aim of the law is not to cause unfairness. In the South, we perceive it as, oh, it's going to be unfair that you be arrested for committing adultery when they are two consenting adults. It takes two to commit adultery, and in that kind of situation, we say, okay, let's not put it in our laws. Let's leave it to the moral code. You commit adultery, that's between you and your God. That's your punishment is going to be between you and your Maker, your beliefs. But in the north, they say no, it has to be reflected in our Sharia law. You'll be punished for it because our Sharia law is going to be reflected in our law. You cannot have adultery. So you understand that there are situations, there are instances where law and morality can be standing apart. Where when you do something, it's between you and your Maker. Where you do what the law says you should not do, you should be punished. Another example I want to give again in the notes. There's section 401, 402, 403. It's talking about drunkenness and alcoholism. You see, Sharia law also forbids alcohol, drunkenness in public places, but in the penal code. But in the South, there's no provision like that. The Bible says you should drink and don't be drunk. It's a very famous saying in the Bible, but it's not reflected in the law. Meaning, there's not going to be any punishment for drinking or getting drunk in public place. The punishment that can be that we know of is when you are intoxicated and you have gone to go and commit crime in the process, or you have killed somebody. For example, you are intoxicated and you are driving and you kill somebody on the road. That in itself is a different crime. That's a crime. But just being drunk or drinking alcohol in public places is not a crime. So if your belief in the South, if your moral code of alcoholism and drunkenness is telling you otherwise, that it's bad for, let's give an example, it's bad for Christians to drink and be drunk, your punishment is between you and your maker, but there's not going to be punishment for you being drunk. Whereas in the North, there is a punishment. So are you seeing the differences? That's an instance where, and there are other instances. There are many laws around. Like I said, I just want this video to be short. There are many laws around the world where laws and morality can stand apart from each other. But basically speaking, majorly speaking, laws reflect morality all over the world. Laws are there to guide us. Laws are actually a good tool. It works with our religion. It helps us. It works with our moral code. So, the purpose of this video is, when there are some instances, there are some things you should do, you know what you are getting yourself into. Whether you are going to infringe the law, or whether you are going to infringe strictly your moral code, that's a question to be left for you. But I just want you to understand what it entails and how it's revolving around the society. So thank you for your time. I know that, like I said, this is my first video, and I know I'll be bringing more videos for us to see. There are other videos, there are other interesting topics that I'll bring in from time to time as time progresses, but I would not be able to do that. I would not be able to bring more videos without your support. I need your support. I need your contributions in the comment section. I need you to like my video, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's going to go a very long way, and I know that the next time I'll be meeting you will be all smiles and all joy. So thank you very much, my viewers, and I do hope you have a lovely day. Thank you very much.